This is Lacey Everett here with Minds in Motion. In order to help others, subscribe, which is free, so we can continue building our positive mental health community. Share it with friends and family so they can reap of the benefits as well. I truly care about your success, so I would love to see your comments and thoughts. Today's sports psychology guest is a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu warrior. She has been practicing Jiu Jitsu for years now. She is now a purple belt. She has over 12 years of experience teaching yoga, boot camp, personal training, health coaching, and Pilates. She has her master's in kinesiology and sports management from the University of South Dakota. She is currently getting her PhD. She is a Yoga Alliance 500-hour ERYT, A certified personal trainer, NASM, performance enhancement specialist, Core Power certified yoga sculpt teacher, Legree Fitness certified Megaformer instructor, certified Pop Pilates instructor, and certified integrative nutrition health coach. Whew! Okay, talk about experience. I am excited to hear what she has to say. So, without further ado, I am going to welcome Rachel Silverman. Hi, Rachel!
Hi!
Woo! So I wanted to tell them really quick before we dive in, fun facts. She inspired me to get into jiu-jitsu. I used to wake up at 5 a.m. to come to her boot camp classes and kickboxing classes. We used to have this thing. Do you remember the Sisterhood of the Traveling Gi?
Yeah, my pink gi that we pretty much gave to every new student, or every new girl at least, that came in to try jiu-jitsu.
So I wanted to start with just asking you, what is it like when you're ready to start a match and your opponent is someone bigger than you or someone that you've heard of before that's more advanced? Because I've seen you tackle people bigger than you, so I'm just curious what goes on in your mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally different in class versus tournament. In class, you roll with people bigger than you all the time, but they're your friends, your training partners. You know deep down that most of them are not going to just smash you for the heck of it, right? They're going to let you play, work on your techniques. But when you get to a tournament, it's 100%, right? And sometimes you sign up for the open weight. And normally when I compete at light feather or feather, depending on how I feel. But it's usually about 120 to 125. And like, for example, I went to San Jose, and in order to compete in the open weight, you have to win a medal. So I got second place in my division, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to do the open weight. I'm going to see what happens. You know, I drove all the way to San Jose, make the most of it. And the girl that I fought, she was probably at least 30 to 40 pounds bigger. She was 2 weight classes above me. But again, for the open weight, they don't weigh you. So even I purposely ate some acai, try to put some weight on. You know, I just told myself, have fun. Like, don't worry. You know, it's like the girl's bigger than you. Whatever happens, happens. Because in other ones, I had stressed myself out too much. And I think put too much expectations on myself. And I'm like, at the end of the day, they still have weight on you. Like, no matter how good your jiu-jitsu is, if someone's bigger than you, that's still going to play a role. And you know what? I won. It was one of my best fights ever. I like beat the girl like 12-0, and then I armbarred her at the end. And like, because I think I put less pressure on myself. And so I just went in with the idea of like, I'm just going to have fun and whatever happens, happens. Whereas previously, every other time I had done the open weight, I had just gotten smashed. And I was like, oh, this sucks. Why do I do this to myself? And my coach was like, you're small. Like, we don't do the open weight, you know? But then he even encouraged me when I went to San Jose. He's like, look, you're going all the way up there. What do you have to lose? You know, if something hurts, you just tap, right? Like with a tournament, it's like, you don't want to get hurt. So you can always tap if you need to. And in the end, I killed it. And I was like, oh my God, I was so surprised afterwards. And it was such a good feeling to know that my jiu-jitsu is good enough, whether or not the person's bigger than you or not.
You can end up winning against people who are bigger than you because technique is a huge aspect of it. And that's a perfect example of that. And I think that's so interesting that because you were calmer and kind of more happy-go-lucky with it, whatever about it, you won.
Yeah.
Because normally we get in that fight or flight mode and we really want to do well. Everyone's watching. Oh my gosh, our coach, I want to remember all the techniques he taught me. And it gets a hold of us. You kind of just were in the present moment with it. And you ended up winning because of that.
Yeah, I really think my mind space going into it was so much different. And so that really made the difference. I mean, of course, you always get a little bit nervous, but compared to how I felt earlier in the day when I was fighting people my own size, I felt like I did even better in the open weight than I did at fighting people my own size. So yeah, your mindset going into it, I think, plays a huge role.
There you go. What was it for you that made you think, okay, I need to just start changing my mindset when I'm going into tournaments because this isn't working?
Well, even when I was first competing, when I started as a white belt, I lost, I won like a couple matches, but didn't win like gold overall. And then it blew. I mean, even, you saw I lost a lot of tournaments at first and it's really hard, but I just never gave up because I was just decided like, I can do this. I just needed to find it within myself to do it. And once I won, just one, that's all it took. Once I got that gold medal, after that, all I had to say to myself in my head was like, well, you can do this. You've done it once before. Right? How is this any different? You know you can do it. And a lot of it, again, is that mental self-talk, that positive self-talk. And so like the week after that, I won gold again. And then, then you had a loss and it's fine, but then you win and win, you start to win more consistently. And so all I say to myself, like when I'm walking out there, I've got my mouth guard on, I'm ready to fight, like right before I go on the mat, I just telling myself in my head over and over, you can do this. You can do this. You've done this before. This is no different, right? Like all those positive things, but then you truly believe it more. Once you have that one win under that belt, I felt like I believed in myself more. I was way more confident going out there. Still, get a little nervous, shaky, but I was aware of what I was doing in the fight, which is a big progress. Sometimes people just completely black out and they have like no idea what they're doing.
Like, I'm gone. Yep.
I was aware of what was going on and I believed in myself. I was confident. And then that makes you more aggressive. That makes you work harder. But yeah, I think that confidence is huge. And I see it with some of my friends and my teammates. Like I have this one training partner and she just doesn't believe in herself. She is good enough. When we train, she kicks my butt. She kicks everyone's butt. She is totally good enough to beat the girls that are in her weight class, her belt. But it's that confidence. She doesn't have that yet. And the one tournament where she did win, she came out and she won 3 matches in a row. Amazing. She told me that she had done what I had done and she had written down the night before, like some positive mantras, and she just said them over and over to herself. And I told her, that's exactly what I do. I don't write them down, but I have them in my head, like certain phrases that I know work for me that are positive, that are going to make me feel confident so that when I step on the mat, at least I know I believe in myself. I'm going to do my best. And sometimes, whatever happens, happens. Sometimes you might lose, but it's not because of lacking in confidence, right? And it's not because of that negative self-talk. But if you go out there thinking you're going to lose, you're going to lose, right? Like you can't go into a fight thinking, well, I'm going to lose. I'm going to get smashed. You've already given up. You can't give up before you get on the mat. Help that. Yeah.
Oh, I love this. Is going to be great for viewers to watch, Rachel. So I'm really happy that I get to interview you today because this is exactly what it's about. And I always used to say, if I'm telling myself I can't do it, my ears can hear me. And then my brain goes, okay, you can't do it. Yeah. And I mean, I love that you practice the positive self-talk. You are able through practice, because we're not going to wake up one day and be like, oh, I'm going to be a perfect athlete and have all these tools under my belt. I mean, this came with struggles. And I remember you, Rachel, because when I was doing jiu-jitsu, you were just starting your competitions and you were losing. But I had never seen someone take criticism so well and get right back up and just persevere. I mean, perseverance, yeah, the definition of it. I mean, and I think that's really admirable because like you said, it just took that one time to win and you were just soaring. For me, it's really amazing to see you just soar like that. And now you're winning almost every tournament and it sounds like your mindset plays a huge role in that. People don't really think about, okay, they think, okay, well, I'm eating right. My physical health is good, but what about your mental health? I mean, that's just as important. So, wow.
Yeah, matter how much you train, right? If you could be the best at jiu-jitsu, you could train super hard, be really prepared, but if you psych yourself out before you even get on the mat, or you don't believe in yourself, you're going to lose that match. There are some amazing athletes, people who are amazing at jiu-jitsu, but they don't win world championships all the time, because of that mental aspect. That's such an important part. I tell people it's 50% of it. That's what I think. I think it's 50% physical, 50% mental. You need to have both. Of course, you can't just think you're amazing and not do the hard work. But if you really want it and you work hard enough for it and you believe in yourself and you tell yourself those positive things, if you've done all the training and all the stuff you're supposed to do and your technique is up there, and you've been drilling and training consistently, then yeah, the rest of it is mental.
Wow. I'm really impressed, Rachel. I mean, you really do it all. I mean, today, you guys, she was up since, it's 11 a.m. She was up since 4 a.m. doing kickboxing classes, yoga classes. Now she's here in her gi interviewing. I think people are capable to do that if their mindset is in the right place. And it takes practice, of course. It takes practice, but it's nice to see that you have mastered it.
Yeah, and sometimes I think it takes, a little of self-evaluation, right? Like maybe you are not in the right spot for you too, right? Like if you're surrounded by people who are negative and people who are putting you down, that can bring you down too. I started going to a new gym. I think it's over a year now, maybe like 14 months, only because our old gym closed. But I had nothing to compare to before. But this new gym, once I started going here, I realized what a difference it makes the coach that I have and the teammates that I have and the positivity and how much they believed in me. That also helped believe in me. Like my new coach, Coach Felipe, that I've had for the past 14 months, he's been at almost every single tournament. He's only missed the ones where I traveled really far for, but all the ones that were in Orange County, San Diego, LA, he's been at all of them. And he really makes me believe in myself. Like before Nogi Worlds, which was the biggest tournament I've ever done, I had the most competitors I've ever had in my bracket. I had 3 fights. And I went into it, honestly, I was like, I just want to win one. I was like, I just want to win my first match. I don't even care if I make it on the podium. I just want to win my first match because it's the world championships and the girl's going to be better than me. And then I won the first one and I was like, oh, if I just win one more, then I'll make it on the podium. I was like, well, then I'll be set because then I get 3rd place no matter what. And he's like, no. He's like, we're not just going for 3rd place, Rachel. He's like, you can be a world championship. So you can get a gold medal. And I was like, I can? Like it hadn't even crossed my mind till he said it. In the end, I ended up in 2nd place. But you know what? I fought my hardest and I was so proud of that 2nd place medal. Like I am more proud of that 2nd place medal than I am of some of my gold medals because again, it was the biggest tournament I'd ever done. It's a world championship. I had lots of girls in my division and I was really impressed with how I fought my first 2 fights. My 3rd fight, I went against a really good girl and, she deserved to win and there was no tears. I was not sad about losing. I was thrilled about that.
Wow. And that is an important point too, because in itself, I mean, a lot of people are focused on win, trophy, but really it's the perseverance behind it and the hard work behind it. I mean, I don't care if I get last place, but if I had a good game or for me being a dancer, if I had a good performance, then whatever.
Yeah,
and
you do your best.
I mean, totally. So that is really, really special to take away from what you just said. I also want to touch on the part when you talked about surrounding yourself with positive people, because like you said, self-evaluation and bringing awareness to ourselves and okay, maybe I'm being negative. Let's do some positive self-talk. But sometimes we're not even there yet. Sometimes we need more. And having people around you and putting yourself in a good gym with good coaches, that can help. That can help. And then you can start being like that by yourself from within and going, no, Rach, I'm going to get 1st place in worlds. I think that is phenomenal to seek out coaches that believe in you. Okay. Is there anything else that you want to say, final takeaway to the viewers and other athletes out there? Anything?
I think the most important thing I always tell people is, work hard, be the hardest worker in the room so that again, you've put in the training, you've done all the hard work leading up to it if it's something you really want. And then the second half is believe in yourself. Don't put yourself down. Like you might have a bad match. We all lose sometimes, right? Or even a bad day of training, Every once in a while, you got to cry. You got to let it out. That's cool. Let those emotions out, but don't let it drag you down. Like, don't let it ruin your whole jiu-jitsu career or make you quit something. Like, I believe in never giving up. Like I have this little thing on my phone, screensaver, and it says like, never give up, believe in yourself, and like one other thing, and I've had it on my phone forever, but it's a good reminder. And I think it's so important to everybody. Like no matter what happens, even if you feel like, oh, I'm just on this losing streak, I truly believe that if you don't give up and you keep pushing, and like someone said once, and I hadn't really thought of it about myself, but like, oh, they were like, you have more heart than anybody else. And sometimes that's what it takes. Like I am not going to give up until that timer on the clock says 0, right? Like I'm going to fight until the last possible second. Sometimes I do even better in that last minute because I'm like, oh, I gotta go now, And so I think again, just have that heart, that hard work, and never give up is the most important thing.
Wow. Thank you, Rachel. Well said. I have seen through my eyes a lot of heart in you, and I know there's a lot of people who look up to you, so I believe it when they say that. And I think that's a great tool to have something on your phone, maybe to remind yourself, hey, okay, you're okay, and keep going. Remember why you're doing this. And when you talked about crying, it's okay to cry. I mean, if you want to cry right now, I could probably cry. We can figure something out to cry about. I mean, I'm sure there's a ton of things we could figure out. Crying is good. People are normally scared to cry, because it's vulnerable and it can be shown as weakness from the society we live in. But I think of it as strength, and I think that's really powerful that you do too. And allowing yourself to be like, okay, well, this match didn't go well. I'm really upset right now, but it doesn't mean I'm going to be upset tomorrow or have to be, So that's really great. I love that you said that. Well, thank you, Rachel.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Of course. I know, this was fun, huh?
Yeah, okay. I was excited when I read your email and you asked me or you texted me. I was like, of course I'll do it, because it's just funny how many conversations I have about this on a day-to-day basis, like with other teammates, or people who are competing, and how much we talk about it. So yeah, I was really happy to be a part of your video.
Ooh, thank you so much, Rach.
You're welcome.
This is Lacey Everett here with Minds in Motion. In order to help others, subscribe, which is free, so we can continue building our positive mental health community. Share it with friends and family so they can reap of the benefits as well. I truly care about your success, so I would love to see your comments and thoughts.